I'm Pete McMurray from MouthpieceSports.com. We're live at Sullivan Steakhouse in downtown Chicago with our baseball legends, Ron Kittle, Rich Nye, and of course Eric Soderholm. I want to talk about pensions. Retired NFL players, they've been talking about how they want a bigger piece of the pot. They want a better pension. What are your feelings on that? Because we've never heard from the retired baseball players. And Kitty, we'll start with you.
Well, I'm retired, but they've already got their pension. I haven't drawn mine yet, but Major League Baseball has set the standard bar for everything through retirement. So obviously it's very successful and it's worry-free. Other sports are trying to follow past, and take along with where we're at. Are they there? Absolutely not. So you got former NFL players trying to promote it to help the other players out.
In my case, what's really helped me is the cost of health care now, especially when you get up like 60, like I am. It's like it's exorbitant for a family, especially. The retirement plan, you can not only get a decent chunk of money, but you can have it automatically deducted every month to cover the health care. And so I don't even miss it. All I know is that if something happens to me or my family, I'm completely covered. And for me, that's a way better benefit than how much money I'm making in retirement. It's the health care benefits that I'm really tickled about that baseball has done.
Rich?
And I was in a little different era. I'm a little older than these two guys and played before they had free agency. And the players in baseball prior to free agency, when salaries were large, they don't have the great financial reward for their benefit, but they do have the health benefit ability plan. And that was the biggest complaint that the football players is they didn't have anything to help them with health care and their pension for any dollars for any of these guys that they help build football into what it is, just like we helped build baseball into the valuable commodity that it is and the business it is. They've got so much money in the pot. Why not have these fellas that, the player today retires and he never have to work again. Most retirements aren't like that.
Are you still a fan of the game?
Oh, I love baseball. I love baseball. I wish I could still throw a curveball, but unfortunately.
Eric, how about you? Do you watch?
I do. I only go to maybe 3 or 4 games a year. I like the bowl of popcorn right in front of the big screen TV. I think that's a great place to be. But as you can tell, my love tank is quite full now.
Love tank. I love that. That's nice.
I thought that was a food baby.
Kitty, you work for the Sox, but are you a fan of the game, or have you been jaded since you've been with it for so long?
Not jaded, that's a poor word for it. I like the game. I never really loved the game. I like to play competitively. That's the part that I miss, the competition, whether you succeed or fail. I go to the ballpark, I meet and mingle. I can tell you how the game's going to come out. I guess I watch a game as a managerial. I say this is what's going to be done, and I do that with the groups that I get to visit with, but I still would rather play it than I would watch it, but I enjoy watching golf. See, Eric enjoyed playing golf, but I enjoy watching golf because I know I stink.
We all stink, yeah. What about the most exciting game you ever played? Eric, we'll start with you.
Well, I was on the Yankees in 1980, and we had won 104 games, I think, that year, and we were like 3-1 favorites to go all the way to the World Series and win it, and we got beat 3 in a row by Kansas City. That was a George Brett Pine Tar. Yep. Remember all that stuff back then? Mm-hmm. That was exciting, being involved in that playoff energy around the stadium. It's just a different buzz, that you don't get in a normal game. As far as a regular season game, when it was with the White Sox in '77, the Southside Hitmen team, we were battling Kansas City in June, late June, and I remember hitting a 3-run bomb off of Doug Bird, and with 55,000 people in the place. I felt like after it went out, the place erupted. I felt like I was floating around the bases. That's how much energy was in the park. I do remember that hit as being something special, without question. But being in the playoffs, getting the chance to say, I was in the playoffs, that was pretty exciting also.
Rich, how about you?
It would have to be a game of the week, Saturday game of the week, middle of July. I was a starting pitcher. We were a half game out of first place. Cardinals were in first place at the time. Cardinals had a doubleheader. I was a winning pitcher of our Saturday game. That put us in first place for the first time since 1945. And I will tell you, this is first place that's 22 years now. And the fans didn't leave the ballpark until they raised the flag in the on the stadium, on the scoreboard.
Right.
They moved the Cubs to first place.
Oh.
And it was exciting because they just stayed. I mean, they stayed half an hour. The place was packed, and they stayed there. And I was a winning pitcher. It was really exciting. Cardinals, unfortunately, they lost the first game of their doubleheader, which put us in first place. They won the second game, which put them back in first place. The next day, Ferguson Jenkins won. We stayed in first place for several days, and it was really, that was an exciting time to be a Cub. You'd come to the ballpark at 10 o'clock in the morning, and there were people lined up around the ballpark to get into the bleachers.
Because the bars weren't open yet.
That's right. Well,
And they won a quick ball game, and they weren't open up till noon. So